welcome back to Kidz Quest. It's me, Miss Ricks, and I am so happy to spend another week with my favorite people. I hope that you've been having a wonderful week. I hope that you've been helping your parents and doing your chores. I know that you've been doing everything that your parents and God wants you to do because you're wonderful and smart children. And I'm just so happy to spend this time with you. Now, today's story is about, well, let's see. How about I give you a clue? I have that's right, a hammer. And what do we use a hammer for? That's right, to build. Today's story is about building. Now, do you like to build? Maybe sometimes you help your mom or your dad build or fix something in the house. That's pretty fun. I know that some of you have things like Legos. Isn't it fun to put all those little bricks together? What about building on Minecraft? Yeah, I know about that one too, the computer game. That's also fun. Building can be a lot of fun, but in order to build, we have to have instructions, right? We can't really build without instructions. The instructions help us to make the build even better. But what if you had no instructions, nothing to read? Well, our story today is about Noah, and maybe some of you guessed that already. Noah was living just like you and I, except at that time, people were getting really bad. They were hurting each other and being very unkind to each other. And so God decided it was probably time to take care of those people. And, well, you know, he wanted to send a flood. But he couldn't send a flood without giving Noah instructions. So one morning, Noah woke up from his sleep and he heard the voice of God in his prayer. Noah, I want you to build an ark. Well, can you imagine what Noah probably thought? What in the world is an ark? He knew what boats were. They did have boats. But an ark is a very big boat. Some of you have been on really big boats, right? Some of you have even been on Disney cruises. You're so lucky. An ark was probably as big, if not bigger, than your Disney cruise ship. But Noah didn't know how to build that. No one had ever built anything like that before. And yet here he was being told by God to build an ark. Now Noah could have quit. He could have said, God, I don't know how to do that. But he didn't. He got right to work building that ark. Now, when it comes to building, it's probably easier to have a friend or your family members help you, right? So Noah, I'm thinking, probably went around town. Hey, can you help me build this really big boat? But the people weren't very nice. They probably laughed at Noah and said, we're not helping you build that. For what, Noah? You're crazy. So Noah only had the help of his 3 sons and their wives and his wife to help build a really big boat. Can you imagine how hard it must have been to cut down those trees, to take the bark off, to get the exact measurements? The good thing is they had the master builder, God, giving them instructions on exactly how to build the boat. And it took a very long time. I'm sure that Noah and his family wanted to give up. Have you ever wanted to give up when you had to work on something that took a long time? I know I have. And sometimes even when building with Legos, it can be really frustrating. But what you have to do is try to persevere and continue and finish, especially when God is the master builder telling you how to build things. You see, kids, the important thing is knowing how to follow God's will, even when you don't exactly understand what God's will is. And so that's what Noah was doing, day in and day out, building this really big boat. And he didn't give up. Now, I've read that scientists said that the boat was big enough to hold at least 45,000 animals. Can you imagine how many animals that is? 45,000 animals. So it was a really big project that Noah had to build. But he kept going because he wanted to fulfill God's will. And the good thing is he had his family to help him. Even though he didn't have as many people as he would have wanted, he still continued. He never gave up on God. Kids, I know that sometimes, especially with everything that's going on, it's really, really hard to do some things. It's really hard to help your parents sometimes. It's really hard to focus on your schoolwork on a computer, and sometimes you don't want to do chores. Even adults feel that way. But the thing is, God, we are His children, and He has given us things to do. And when we want to do His will, even if we don't have the right instructions, God will be our master builder, and He will tell us exactly what to do, so that maybe one day we can build something as magnificent as Noah's Ark. Thank you so much for joining us this week, kids. I can't wait to see you next week on Kidz Quest. Bye-bye.